What's up, y'all? It's Trades Travels here with another video. So I made a previous video about the experience that I had when I moved to South Korea a few years ago. I moved there, it was a nightmare, and I took my black ass back to Shenzhen. And I mentioned in the video that I am going to make a comparison of South Korea and China. So I finally got it. And right before I had made the video, my friend Sam, he mentioned that I should hit up our friend Jim, because Jim, he lived in South Korea and he lived there for a pretty long time, you know, way longer than me. I was there for a month, he was there for a while, and now he currently lives in China. So I took some of what he gave me because he has, you know, much more experience than me. Then of course took some stuff that I've experienced from that brief time of living there and from traveling there. So yeah, let's get started. So the first thing, I got my notes right here. But the first thing we're going to talk about, the pros of South Korea, which are also the cons of China, and the pros of China, which are the cons of South Korea. So the pros of South Korea is the internet. All right, so you like the internet. So South Korea, high-speed internet, you know, one of the fastest internets in the world. South Korea's internet is boom. It's just fast as shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like literally like one of the highest, fastest internet in the world. And you know, the internet just works perfectly. It's high speed. It's dope. China, on the other hand, has a censored internet. The internet in China is censored. Like everything is blocked off. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google, you know, everything. Like it's all fucking censored and shit. And in order to access these websites in China, you have to use a VPN, a virtual privacy network. And I talked about, you know, the VPNs in previous videos, but the VPN is how you can access things. As a matter of fact, that's how I'm able to fucking talk to you motherfuckers from a motherfucking VPN. So you get on YouTube. So, you know, in Korea, you don't have to use a VPN. You just get on the internet because that's what the normal world does. The normal world gets on Google and do whatever. Whereas China, you can't do that. Everything's blocked. And in South Korea, the only thing that's blocked or banned is porn. But then again, if you're in Korea, you should be out getting girls anyway. You know what I'm saying? You should be out getting girls anyway. They'll say, go to the red light district, goddammit. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing that's banned is porn. But besides that, I mean, everything works smooth. You know, I can, like, here in China, I can't even play my PS5 online. I can't even play against my friends because the internet is so slow. And yeah, the internet in China is terrible. It's slow, and it only works for you know, a lot of times Chinese, you know, websites. But if you're an expat, you're not going to use Chinese websites. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's like the pro of Korea. You have a normal high-speed internet. The VPN is good for certain things. For example, Hulu, Pandora, HBO Max, those are US exclusive only websites. So you have the VPN, and that's for anywhere. If you're in Korea, you can put the VPN on in order to just access those things. And also VPNs work because you can just change your location. So that's the pro to that. But when you want to do stuff like go on YouTube or just Google or Facebook, you know what I'm saying, in Korea, you don't have to fucking worry about that bullshit. But in China, you know, everything's fucking blocked. You know, they just ban the internet. So yeah, that's one thing. The next thing, civilization. Korea is civilized for the most part. When I say civilized, meaning is, this is gonna sound mean, but I'm being completely honest. It's normal, you know what I'm saying? People are just normal. In China, well, China, you know, I guess post-COVID, I have seen some changes, especially in, like, you know, where I'm at Shenzhen, I've seen some changes, but pre-COVID, man, like, people would just, you know, stare at you all the time. Like, you walk by, people are staring at you, pointing at you, taking pictures of you without your permission, and people are spitting everywhere, pooping everywhere, you know, stuff like that. You got little kids walking up to you, why Gorin? And you know, that shit gets old. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit gets real fucking old. I mean, it gets old. Like, versus Korea, you know, you're just a fucking normal ass person. Like, when I first went to Korea and I got on the metro, the one thing I noticed, nobody is fucking staring at me. No one gives a fuck. People just mind their business. It's quiet, it's peaceful on the train, you know what I'm saying? Like everyone has manners, they're lined up in single file line. It's just like you're just in a normal place. Whereas China, I remember people used to like just cut in line and, just loud and all the fucking time. Like people used to cut in line. I used to grab people's shit and throw it off the counter and be like, get your ass in the back. Because people used to do that, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a bit better now in Shenzhen. I can't speak for like up north. I'm assuming up north they still act like animals, but here down south, people not really, they're not really on that type of shit. People are just kind of, they're just being normal. But overall, Korea is much more just civilized. Like, I mean, people are not gonna sit there and stare at you and point at you in Korea. You're just a normal person. Yeah, you're a foreigner, but you're still just a person. Whereas China, they have to go out of their way to let you know you stand out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and people who first get to China, they may think it's cool. Yeah, people want to take photos of me with me or whatever, but I'm telling you, the shit gets old. Like, because you at first you may feel like, yeah, I'm a celebrity, but you're not really a celebrity. You're more of a zoo animal. So yeah, that's the pro of Korea, that it's civilized, whereas China, it's not necessarily the most civilized. And another pro of South Korea, it's pretty much Western. I'm not saying it's all Western, but it's a lot of Western aspects. The U.S. military is stationed out there, so Americans, we do feel a bit at home because we got the U.S. military, and there's a lot of stuff that accommodates us or whatever. I hope I pronounced that word right. If I didn't, fuck you. But yeah, like a lot of stuff there. I mean, you can just go to the store and just get normal shit. Like if I want a fucking Pop-Tart, I can get a fucking Pop-Tart. If I want to go get some pancakes, I can get some pancakes. Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Whereas China, like for me to get some Pop-Tarts, I have to go to the import store. And it costs a lot. And pancakes, I mean, it took me years to find pancakes here in China. It took me years. So, just more of a Western stuff. Seoul, which is, the main city in South Korea. I mean, Seoul is a huge international city. Pretty much everybody there speaks English. I mean, when I was in Seoul, I don't think I've had to use my translator not one time. I haven't had to use my translator at all. And and just a lot of like just freedoms and stuff we have. Like, I can say what I want. Now, I can't go around saying, hey, I'm gonna kill the president. You can't say that, obviously, but I mean, you can just say what you want, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to worry about not saying this, offending the government or whatever. Whereas China, you can't say anything about the government or they'll come knock on your door and take you away.
Hello? Who's there?
Like movies here in Korea, like, here in China, they only allow certain amount of movies in China. Only certain movies are allowed in China. Last year, not one Marvel movie made it to China. Like, no Phase 4 movies. I couldn't even see Spider-Man. I was so mad. Spider-Man, Black Widow, Venom, Eternals, which no one gave a fuck about, and Shang-Chi, which you would think Shang-Chi would make it to China, but it didn't. And they just banned it all. Like they always do that. They just ban movies or whatever, or they'll just ban TV shows. They'll just ban things. That's what they do. They ban everything. If it either A, goes against the government policy, or they just don't like it for whatever reason, or if you do something to make them mad, they just ban it.
Which one of you decided to go and start bad-mouthing the Chinese government?
Korea and the rest of the world, it's not a thing. It's there. You know what I'm saying? It's just there, like it's supposed to be. So yeah, you don't have to worry about just stuff getting banned. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it gets kind of old when like I was mad I couldn't see Spider-Man. Now Batman did make it to theaters in China. However, I'm on lockdown in Shenzhen right now, so therefore I can't go to the movies right now. But when lockdown's over, I'll go see Batman. Hopefully Batman and Uncharted. So yeah, Korea, you don't have to worry about stuff getting banned or censored or stuff like that. It's just normal life, how it should be, you know what I'm saying? So now I want to talk about the pros of China, which are the cons of Korea. Number one thing in China is the work. When it comes to work, I mean, work in China takes a big fat crap on South Korea. So in China, there are more economic opportunities. There's more variety of jobs. English teacher is the most common job, but there's many different types of jobs, like different subjects you can teach, or even if you're not teaching, you know, there are people who do marketing and just a bunch of other different types of jobs, you know what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of people work for tech companies in China. It's just so many, and then the salaries range, you know, depending on, you know, the job, your level of experience, your level of education. The salaries, they range, you know what I'm saying, pretty high. I mean, you can make, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6,000 US or higher, maybe higher, you know, a year. A month. You know what I'm saying, like 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7,000 a month. There's just more different types of opportunities, and then, you know, a lot of people in China, a lot of expats, you know, they'll do part-time jobs on top of that. I hear about part-time jobs making more than full-time jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm out here acting and wrestling, and it, you know, the pay is, you know, it's pretty good. Whereas in Korea, the pay in Korea, first of all, the pay sucks. The pay is about 2.1 to 2.5 million won, which, but I could be wrong about the estimate, maybe 1,500 to 2,000 US, around that, I think. I'm not sure. Do that research for yourself. Yeah, so that's the salary in Korea. The salaries haven't gone up since fucking 2011, apparently. And when it comes to like just work, there's not that many variety. So in Korea, you can teach at a public school, which are becoming harder and harder for expats. And the most common that a lot of people do is work at a hagwon, all right? Or another option, military. But hagwon is one of the most common things that common places that people work at, expats work at in China. I'm sorry, expats work at in South Korea. And hagwons, as I talked about, are they suck. They're fucking garbage. They're terrible. At the hagwon that I was at, you know, I was working, you know, I was working like maybe 9 to like 6:30 to 7:30, teaching 8 to 9 classes a day. The pay was terrible, and the bosses were just mean and just yelling, and they were just bitches. And I hear about a lot of hagwon stories. Like, people get fired for no reason, you know what I'm saying? You can't even have sick days at these hagwon. They don't even allow you to call off sick. You know what I'm saying? I got a fucking amputated leg, and they like, yo, get your motherfucking ass and get to work. They don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? They don't have bullshit at these hagwons. Like Jim, he said they fired him for some BS. You know what I'm saying? And I've read all these stories about hagwons. Hagwons are pretty much a nightmare. I mean, aside from the low pay, they're a nightmare. And they can just fire you at any time. You know, they don't follow their contracts. It's shady as shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying all hagwons. I'm saying from what I heard, a lot of my hagwon was shady, and what I hear about other hagwons, they're shady. In China, you have your shady ass schools. You know what I'm saying? A good bit of them are shady. You know, but the shadiness from there don't compare to the shadiness in Korea. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can say in China, the worst job I worked at was way better than any shit in Korea. You know, in China, at least I've always been treated like a fucking person. You know what I'm saying? At least at work, they always treat me like a person. Whereas in Korea, I mean, it was a nightmare. I wanted to kill these bitches, you know. Amber and Gianna from ILS in Cheonan. Yes, I said your motherfucking names. Fuck both you bitches. Suck a dick. Yeah, I call them bitches out. I don't give a fuck. I'm calling you bitches out. But yeah, and the thing about like China, like, okay, if you're working at a training center, which is basically like teaching ESL, English as a second language, to like kids that get out of regular school and they go to this other school after school hours to practice more English. You mainly teach, you get like 2 days off, which may be a Monday, Tuesday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, or some shit like that. And during the week, you teach in the evening, not that many hours. Then the weekends, you teach kind of like all day. That's how it is at a training center in China. And if you work at like a public school, you got the Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, whatever. You teach like maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 classes a day. Kindergarten, kind of the same thing. You're just there all day. International schools, you know, you get the Monday through Friday stuff, the weekends off, and then we get a lot of holidays. So if you're a Monday through Friday type of guy, I mean, you getting all these holidays and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you get, you know, holidays, paid holidays for some schools, others may not pay or whatever, but you get paid holidays, not all the time, but you know, just, you know, you get more time off. And the more time off, you can do more stuff. And for the most part, it's pretty chill and laid back. You know, I can't say for every school in China, but you know, for the most part, I mean, the stuff I've done, it's just chill and laid back. A lot of other people can co-sign. It's chill and laid back. Korea, it ain't chill and laid back. It's now, if you're at a public school, I heard that those are chill and laid back. They're, you know, really chill and laid back. The salary may not be as high as China, but it's still chilled and laid back. But those are getting harder to get now. So yeah, work. I mean, if you're looking, you know, a place to work in Asia, I mean, China is really that's like the best in my opinion. Next thing, the cost of living. So in China, the salaries are much higher than Korea, and the cost of living is lower. So, you know, the rent for the most part, I mean, rent has gone up a bit, but at least the salary's gone up. Now, if you're in like, you know, Shanghai or Shenzhen, you know, these type of expensive cities, yeah, the rent's gonna be pretty high. But if you're, you know, in these second tier cities or whatever, I mean, you're not paying shit for rent really. And then you get like a big ass apartment too. And then your salaries, you know, they'll cover it, and you can really save a lot of money. Like people save a lot of money being in China because the cost of living is so low. The salaries are higher, the cost of living is low, and not just rent, just, you know, transportation is pretty cheap. You know, food, if you eat Chinese food, is pretty cheap. Western food is a bit more expensive, but I mean, you can still afford it for the most part. I mean, you know, then, you know, stuff like that. I mean, then I got a plug to where I can get like, you know, shoes and clothes. Like I got a lot of like shoes that a lot of Jordans I get from a dude, and I pay like $20 for them Jordans. I'm not even going cap. I paid $20, and you know what I'm saying. So are they real? Well, hey, you know what he says in the caption. You can't tell the real from the fake. So yeah, fuck y'all. All right, I got my fresh J's. I paid $20 for them hoes. All right, so yeah, but you know. So you can get a lot of, you know, it's a lot of good shit, you know what I'm saying? A lot of cheap shit you can get here or whatever. Cost of living is low, and it's chill, you know what I'm saying? Like it's all chill. Like you can't beat that. Korea, now I didn't pay for rent in Korea. I didn't pay for rent because they, you know, had the housing, but like, I mean, I don't really know, but as far as everything else, yeah, things were a bit more expensive there. You know what I'm saying? Like food's more expensive, everything was more expensive. However, I mean, not however, but they were more expensive, yet the salaries really weren't that. So it's like, I don't know how people can really save. You know what I'm saying? And you can't negotiate a higher salary in Korea. They're gonna give you the same shit. In China, you can negotiate, you know, your salary, but in Korea, like, you can try to negotiate, but it ain't gonna go that much higher. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like, I mean, cost of living in China, I mean, you can't beat that. You know what I'm saying? And in China, there's more places to go. Like China, the main city, you know, like, well, there's plenty of main cities. There's 4 first tier cities in China. We have Shanghai, Beijing, Shenzhen, and Guangzhou. Those are the top 4 first tier cities. So like Shanghai is, you know, the best city in China. You know, it has every fucking thing. And then there's Beijing, which is also a big international city. It's the capital of China. And then you have down south, Guangzhou and Shenzhen. That's in the Guangdong province, which is down south China. And you know, it's a lot of things you can do. Those are big cities where you can do a lot of things. And then just traveling within China. Like if you want to see nature, you know, you can go travel to these like villages or lakes or what are they called? Like these hot spas or whatever. You can just travel all these places, and you know, then you know, you can take the ferry to places and the high-speed train all over. And then, you know, before they close the borders, you can go over to Hong Kong. And Hong Kong is a great city. And you can go over to Macau, which is another great city. Macau is the gambling capital of the world. You can do all that. And then you can just travel to other countries, because like traveling within China is cheap. So like just there's more places to go to. In Korea, there's only really Seoul and Busan. I lived, when I was in Korea, I lived in Cheonan, and there wasn't much popping in Cheonan. I had to fucking take a high-speed train to Seoul. And now Seoul has all the action. Like, Seoul is lit. Seoul is fucking lit. Seoul has everything. However, that's it really. You know what I'm saying? Like, outside of Seoul and outside of Busan, Busan is, you know, where the beach is at. There's not much really popping. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is either in Seoul or in Busan. Whereas in China, everything's kind of popping everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is just popping. You know, a lot of good stuff. A lot of you know, historical stuff you can, you know, see, like the Great Wall and everything. So it's a lot of that. So those are some of the, you know, the pros and cons. And like, as far as like, you know, neutral things that we have, so like the food, I mean, I like both food. I like Korean food, I like Chinese food. You know, I don't mind it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll eat it. Jim said he likes Korean food more. I think he said Korean and Chinese. I don't even remember. But I think he said he likes Chinese food more. I don't fucking remember. I think he said he likes Chinese food more. Because he's not a fan of kimchi. Yeah, he said he likes Chinese food more because he's not a fan of kimchi. Kimchi is, you know, what they serve in Korea. Chinese food is very spicy, so if that's what you like. That's neutral because that just depends on like your taste or whatever. I can't give you a pro and con. You know, some people may like Chinese food more, some people may like Korean food more. It just all depends on, you know, what you like. You know what I'm saying? I'm fine with both of them, really. You know what I'm saying? Both of them, I don't mind it, to be honest. Dating, you know, some people may think Korean girls are hotter. Some people may think Chinese girls are hotter. I don't have that much experience dating in Korea. I got a, you know, girl in Korea that I was dating. I still chat with her every now and then. She's like the only one in Korea I dated. But besides that, I don't have much experience. But I have, you know, fair bit of experience dating girls in China. So like, I would say, I mean, it's still Asian culture. So like, you're gonna see a lot of similarities and shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of just up to really you and, you know, how, you know, which you find more attractive, what's your preference. The expat community, you know, in China, we have a big expat community. Same in Korea, there's an expat community. You know, they're all kind of, you know, should be close knit for the most part. But the advantage, I give a slight advantage maybe to Korea simply because the U.S. military is there. So yeah, the U.S. military is in Korea. So I mean, that'll be more of my advantage because I'm American. And last, safety. Both China and Korea are safe. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to worry about that. This ain't Atlanta where you can't walk around at 2 a.m. because your ass gonna get clapped. You know what I'm saying? But in like Korea and China, I mean, you can walk around. You know, it's safe. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about getting mugged or none of that. So it's safe. But yeah, I mean, those are my pros and cons for, you know, Korea and China. You know, let me know what you think. I try to keep it as honest and real as I could. Like I said, these experiences are from my own personal and from Jim's, and just from me observing, you know, outside as well. Because I don't want to always use my personal, because what I experience may be different from others. So I'm also looking at the perspective of other people. Like, I watch how other people live it or whatever, and that's why, you know, Sam recommended I ask Jim, because Jim, he, you know, has been there. So he's been there longer, so he has his experience. But yeah, that's some of the pros and cons. Let me know what you think. Like this video, comment down below, subscribe to me, man. Come on, let's get these subscriptions up, man. Y'all need to follow me, man. Speaking of follow, y'all need to follow me on Instagram at T_Williams3222. Check out my other YouTube channel, Comic Book Sports. If you like boxing, MMA, DC, Marvel, video game type of stuff, I cover news and topics on that stuff. So check it out. And purchase my book on Amazon, Surviving China as an Expat. I wrote a book specifically about how to survive in China. So check that out. All right, guys, I'm out.